This is a software demonstration for JE Computing Project Live Scheme of Work, Unit 6.5, in which I'll show you how to create a simple website using the website Weebly.com. The first thing that you need to do is go to the website education.weebly.com and you'll need to create yourself a free account. Once you've done that, you just need to fill in the information here. And then once you've done that, click on Set Up a Class. And then here you basically need to add your class. And then for the time being, I would just recommend setting it to private and giving the website a class password. And then press Create Class. Once you've got all the parental consent letters back, you just need to fill in the details of the pupils in your class, and then it will create a username for them, and then you need to give them a password. I would just recommend giving all the students the same passwords to start with, and then once they log in for the first time, they can then go into their settings and change that to something more personal to them. And then once you've added all the pupils in your class, you just need to press on the button here to print out the student list, and then they can have their own copies of their usernames and their passwords to enable them to log in on the first lesson. Once you're ready to start the project, ask your students to go to the website students.weebly.com, and then using the username and the password slips that you've provided them with, ask them to fill in their details and log in. This will then take you into the site editor now, where pupils can start making their website. Before they do this, just ask them to click on this button here in the top right hand corner and just exit the editor for a moment, and just ask them to change their account settings and change their password. So just click on account settings and just press on change password, and then just ask pupils to change their password to something more personal to them. When they've done this, they can just press on save. Then to get back into the editing bit of it, they can just press on edit site. And then they can start editing their site. Now it automatically loads this up as the default theme. To change this to a different template, you just need to click on the design tab at the top and then press on change theme. And then there's lots of different themes to choose from there. So ideally, pupils will perhaps find one which links to the theme of their site. So in this example, I'm going to make a simple one on volcanoes. So I'm going to try and choose a theme that matches up with that. So this one, I quite like the look of. Now it gives me the option here to change the colours of the buttons and things. So if I click on that, I can change that. Now if I'm not quite sure, I can preview it first to see what it looks like. And then if I'm happy with it, I can press choose, or I can just press on cancel to go back and look at some other ones. So I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to change the colour. So I'm going to press choose. So this now is basically the template now for my site, and I can change it to a different one if I want to later on. So the first thing that I obviously need to do is start designing the pages for the top of it. At the moment we've just got the one page called home, and we need some other pages on it as well. So to add some pages, just go to the pages tab at the top, and then because this is the free plan, I'm limited to just 5 pages. So I'm going to keep the home page as it is, but then I'm also going to have 4 other pages as well. So to add a new page, I'm just going to go to the add button here. Now you'll notice here that there's some header types. So I'm going to keep the home page actually as a landing page. So basically that means it's an image with some text next to it and a button linking to something else as well. So I'm going to keep that as it is. But then when I add my new page, which is a standard page, and I'm going to call that types of volcano, maybe just types. This time I'm not going to have a landing page, I'm just going to have a short header, I think, for that one. So I'm going to choose, so that just basically means there'll be a header picture at the top. And then I'm going to add in my next page. And again, I'm going to keep the theme the same now, so I'm going to have a short header again on this page at the top. Then my third page. Again, I'm going to have the same with a header at the top of it. And then my final page. So that's how I'm going to set my pages up to start with. I can always go back into pages at any time and change those if I need to. But for the time being, I'm happy with those as my 5 pages. So I'm just going to press on save and edit, and then that will then put those pages at the top of my site. So I've got my pages set up now ready. So now it's just a case of designing each of those 5 pages. Before I do that, I'm just going to change this here, and I think I might put a logo there instead just to brighten it up a bit. So I'm going to press on logo, and then I'm basically going to upload a photo that I've saved to my computer. So on my desktop, I've just created a folder called website pictures, and I've named it logo. So I'm just going to double press on that, and there it's applied that image now to there. I can add some text as well if I want to, but I'll just keep that as it is. So already it's starting to look a bit brighter now, a bit better. So I've got my pages, I've got my logo set up at the top. So now it's just a case of designing this home page now. So as you can see here, I've got an image which is not actually anything to do with what my website's going to be about. So I need to edit this image now and replace it with something else. So I'll just again press on the edit image button, and it's the same process again. Go to add image and upload photo, and then again I'm just in my website volcanoes folder here. So go for that one, I think. And then it's just uploading the file. So I've got the option now to resize it if I need to. Obviously I don't for this one. And I can apply some effects to it if I want to. If I'm happy with it, and just press OK. And then I just need to save it. Now I don't want to save it to all the pages, I just want to save it to this particular page. So I just need to select that. So now I've replaced the default image with one that now matches up with what my site is going to be about. So now you can see here there's some text. So the next job obviously is to replace this text with a little brief introduction about my website. So as you can see now here, because this is a landing page, there is a button here which would link to something else. So this could link to, if I just click on it, this could link to a website, it could link to another page within the site, it could link to a file, or it could even link to an email address. So I'm not going to do anything with that just yet. I'll come back to that at another point and add that in later. So I'm happy with that now as my home page. So the next thing I'm going to do now is start designing the other pages of my site. So I'm just going to go to the types page now. And again, remember we chose the short header theme. So we've got a header here that we'll need to replace. So we'll do the same again, go to edit image and then add image, upload photo, and then within that folder, find the image that I want to use. And then this one's not fitting in very well, so I just need to stretch it so it fits. And then press OK. And then again, I just want to save it just to this page, not to the other ones as well. So just like that. So now I can start building the content for this page. And you can see down the left hand side, this is basically all the different elements that I can add to a page. So we've got all the basic elements here like title, text, different types of images, maps, embed codes if you want to embed forms and things, and then you've got other things you can include as well. So what I'm going to start off by doing on this page is I'm just going to add a title to the top of the page. So to add an element, basically you just click on it and then you just drag and drop it into the place where you want it to appear on the page. So here I want it to be at the top of the page, so I'm going to drop it into that bit there. And then a box will come up and basically I'm just clicking it now and then I can type in the title for this page. And then you'll notice as I'm typing a formatting bar has come up here, so I can highlight the text and I can do things to it. So I can make it bold, I can change the size, underline it, change the colour, center it. So there's my title at the top. Now I'm going to add in a text box to go with it. So again, I'm just going to drag. Now if I dropped it there, it will put the text box to the side of it, and I don't want it there, I want it underneath. So just to delete that now, I just need to press on the X and then it will just delete that element. I'm just going to try that again. So this time I'm just going to drop it. I'm not going to put it to the side, I'm going to put it underneath. So you see how the blue lines appeared? So I'm just going to drop it under there. And then again, just click inside the box and then I can start typing in my text. And then again, I can highlight the text, make it slightly bigger, and justify it. I think we'll change the colour as well. And then I'm just going to add another text subheading now. And again, you can drag in other elements as well. So I'm going to have an image now of composite volcano, and I'm going to have that there just underneath it. And again, just like I did adding in the header images, just click on the button, and then go to upload a photo. And then again, in the website volcanoes folder, it should be saved. And then once the image is in, if I actually click on it, there's things I can do. I can replace it if I decide to change it to another one. I can have it on the left hand side of the page, on the right, in the middle. I can put a caption to it. We can have a border around it. Change the border colour. So lots of different things we can do there with the actual image. And then again, I could put some more text underneath that to go with it. And as well as static images, you can have slideshow images as well. You can have gallery images. So I'll just show you how to do that. So for the next subheading, we'll have shield volcanoes. So you could drag in a slideshow element, and you've got choices of different styles for the slideshow here. Or you could have a gallery of images by dragging in that element. And again, it's just the same as what we've done so far. Just click on the upload images button and then press on the green button there. And just find the images that you want to have in the gallery. And then if you want to select a few, obviously because it's a gallery, you can just press shift and just select the ones that you want to add into it. And then again, if you actually just click on the image, you can add captions to each image by clicking on the speech bubbles here. You can add a hyperlink, so you can link the images to perhaps a website or something like that. And if you click on the advanced button again, you can do the same as what we did earlier. You can adjust the spacing as well and put a border around it. So that's basically adding in the images element. So we've got a static image, we've got some header images now, we've got a gallery images as well, and as I said, we could add some slideshow images as well. Perhaps not got quite enough pictures at the moment to do that. Another thing you might want to do is create some hyperlinks. So to do that, you can basically just click on the text that you want to link. So if we go back to this first sentence here, we could perhaps link this phrase here, 3 different types of volcano. We could maybe link that to a website giving a bit more information about that. So we just need to find the actual website that we want to link to. And then you basically just need to copy the website address, and then with the text highlighted, just click on the create link button and then just paste in the website address into the box there, and then just press save. So when the website is published now, when people click on that part of the text, it will take them to that website that we've just linked it to. So that's quite a useful feature as well. I'm just going to show you a couple more features as well that you might want to include within a website. If we just scroll down, there's lots of really interesting media features that you can add here. The YouTube one, for example, is really good, and pupils are probably keen to add in some of their own YouTube videos into their website. So to do that, it's just the same principle again. Drag in the element and position it where you want it to go. And just like we just did with the hyperlink then, it's just a case of finding the website address and copying and pasting it. So we'll just quickly go to YouTube. So we'll just see if we can find a video on YouTube. Basically, we just need to copy this URL address here. So edit and copy again, and we'll just go back into Weebly, and then basically we just click on the element again, just like we've been doing all the time, and then we just paste in that address into there, and then again we can have it at the left hand side, on the right hand side, or in the middle. We can adjust the spacing, we can adjust the size of it as well. And then if I just click somewhere else now off the page, we can see what that looks like. So there we have, now we've got that video embedded into that page. And basically that's what I would do now. I would just carry on going to my other pages within my site, dragging in the elements that I want to include within that page. And then when all my pages are finished, it's just a case of pressing publish, and then I can have a look and see what it looks like online. Now before I do that, there's just one more page that I want to complete, and that's this quiz page here. And I want to put in a embedded form within this page. And then what I'm going to do is basically create a form which is going to serve as a quiz, so that I can then see if people that have viewed my site have understood the information that I've included. So to do this, I'm going to create a form in Google Forms, and then I'm going to use the embed code, and I'm going to drag in an embed code element into the quiz page, and I'm just going to copy and paste in the code so that the form is embedded into that page. So first of all, I need to create the form. So I'm just going to go to a new tab on the internet, and I'm going to go to Google Forms. Now to use Google Forms, your pupils will need to have their own Gmail addresses. So if you don't use Google Apps for Education, or if you don't have pupil Gmail addresses, then you'll need to get parent consent and set these up. Once you've done that, the pupils can log into their Gmail address, and then when they're logged in, they can use any of the Google products. And then within Google Forms, basically it looks like this. So they have a blank form which you basically need to fill in. So I'm going to just click in here and give the form a title. So I'm going to call it Volcano Quiz. Then here I can basically type in a question. And I could choose a question type. So I'm just going to stick with multiple choice for this one. And then type in the answer choices. And I want this to be a required question, so I'm going to tick that box, and then I'm just going to press done. And then I'm going to add in another question. And there's different types of answers I could choose. I'm just going to stick with multiple choice just for the time being. And again, when I've finished, I can just press done, and then I can add in another question. And then when I've got all my questions in my quiz, I can change the theme if I want to, make the quiz look a bit nicer to look at. And then when I'm ready to put the quiz into the website, I basically just need to press on this button here where it says send form. I need to click on this button here where it says embed, and then I just need to highlight this code here and then right click or edit and copy, and then I need to go back into the website, and then I need to drag in this embed code into the place where I want the quiz to be. And then if I just click inside the box, just delete that, and then just right click again or edit, and then press paste, and then I can have it in the center or to the left, wherever I want it to be, and then you can see the form now is embedded within my site. So now I'm going to publish the website, so I'm going to press on the publish button here. And I can change the website address if I want to, or I can keep the same one what I had at the beginning and press continue. Just fill in this information. Okay, and there is my website published. So I'm just going to click on the link now to see what it looks like. And remember from the beginning, we password protected all the websites. So we'll need to type in password. And here is my website. So I'll just show you how the quiz bit works now. So when people go to the quiz page, they can take part in the quiz once they've read all the other pages of the site. And they can submit their answers. And then I can basically go to Google Sheets, which again is one of the Google products that you can access with a Gmail address. And then within Google Sheets, what it does, it will automatically collect the responses of my quiz within a spreadsheet. So I can click on the name of my quiz and it will show me the responses there. So for that question there, how many types of volcano, that person who responded there typed in 3, and then the second person who filled in my quiz to also type 3, and then that response there, you can see that person has put in a type of volcano, and then this person here has typed in a different answer for that question. They put a way of measuring. So basically it just puts the responses within a spreadsheet so you can see the different responses that people have made on the quiz.